back, everybody. So today we're going to have the first tasting of batch 15 in my 2023 series. So now this is another Tree House recipe. I will put that shorts video from Tree House Brewing Company down below if you want to check that out. It's home brewing, and I like to make stuff all the time. They had a recipe, and I keep making different beers, homebrews with it, and changing up the hops and the yeast. So this is 10th one, ninth IPA, New England IPA, whatever you want to call it, that I made. I actually have two more fermenting too, using a different yeast. But this one, small batch, 1.25 gallons going into the carboy. 2 pounds, 8 ounces of 2-row, 6.4 ounces of flaked oats, 5.6 ounces Carafoam. For the hops, Halatu Magnum, 0.1 ounce at start of boil, then 0.1 ounces of Dorado Mosaic and Vic Secret, 20 minutes left in the boil, then same thing at flameout. Actually, scratch that. I ran out of Vic Secret, so this actually has 0.1 ounce of Dorado at flameout, then 0.21 ounces of Mosaic at flameout. Don't know why I just didn't go with 0.1. No clue. Post-boil gravity, 1068. This finished at 7.75 bricks, so 7.67% ABV, bottled on 10/8. So 14 days to that is today, 10/22. So first tasting, I always like doing them 2 weeks after just to see. If I wasn't making videos, would I do this? No, I'd probably wait 3 weeks before I opened one. But it's fun to see how they change. So let's go ahead and get this open. One large carbonation tablet was used. Okay, hiss, good smoke. Does that thing go over? It's definitely a bubbling. I like the small pearl carbonation tablets better than the bigger ones like the Coopers or the Mr. Beer ones. I'm going to leave the bottom of that in there. I think you have more adjustability using those than you do the big pearls. I've got them over there, but yeah, I would go with the small ones. I don't think they carb up as fast. And we will see that. I got a brand new pack of them, so we'll start seeing that, because this is 2 weeks, and if I wouldn't have poured that after I opened it, it would have been flowing over. So I think you can, those small pearls, less sugar per each one, so you can kind of dial it in to your liking a little bit more. Off-white colored head, pretty much all small bubbles. From that pour, a finger and a half of head. Yeah, orange, yellowish orange. I can't say milky. I want to say milky so bad, but this technically isn't a New England IPA, I guess, if you really look at it. Or I should say, in my opinion, it's not. It smells and tastes like a New England IPA, but is it? I think we need some wheat in there. I want it milky yellow. That's just me. Not this color. I'm guessing it's the Carafoam. Even though I'm guessing... No, if Beersmith is right, Carafoam's only a 2 SRM. But it's darker than the 2-row. Huh. But yeah, I want more milky yellow, and that yeast and suspension is going to make it hazy and all that. And some of the hops can add to it too, but call it what you want. IPA, New England IPA. I'm right in the middle. Half the time I call it New England, half the time I call it IPA. Let's go ahead and smell. I'm getting a little bit of that green. So this is batch 15. I just finished up 14, and I was getting a green smell, and I couldn't figure out if it was like a pine. It definitely wasn't a sweet pine. but it was green, and I was thinking it was the Vic Secret. Maybe that that hop needs a little bit more time to mature. In there, I'm getting it from that. So the only hop that changed is Citra. So I used El Dorado instead of Citra in this batch, and I can't really it doesn't really have a smell. Like there's a little green in there. I I almost want to say a little maltiness is coming out. Uh, but over I don't know if it's the head, the foam that's covering it up, but this smells nothing like that batch 14. Maybe a touch of citrus, like orange citrus green. I guess you could say an unripe orange that's still green, but I think I'm fighting too hard for something that's not there right now. Let's go ahead and taste. Dank passion fruit is what I get. That's probably coming from the El Dorado. There's a little rind citrus, orange rind citrus in the back. I think because this one attenuated a little bit more than it should. Um, I believe Beersmith was calling for a 7.2 on this one, and the Treehouse recipe was for 7, and this is 7.4. So it is a little drier. I can definitely tell, or 7.67. Um, I can definitely tell this is drier with less sweetness than batch 14, where that was 7.11%. So that half a percent, really, a little less than half a percent, is coming through. I definitely wouldn't call it a brute IPA, but it's dry and that perceived bitterness. I actually went through this yesterday with an Arvon beer. The perceived bitterness is high, and I don't know if it's because it did attenuate more than it should. So there's not that sweetness in there to kind of balance out that bitterness. Because I'm always saying I would rather have them more bitter than sweet, and technically this is the second day in a row I'm eating my words. I want some sweetness in this beer because it's too bitter. It's not that taste is not balanced very well. Body smooth. Yeah, it's like an orange rind citrus with some dank tropical fruit. I don't get the green in the taste like I did on batch 14. I don't know if it's because it's settled down just a little, but I do get like a berry in the back, like a bitter berry uh, in the back of the palate. And it seems like it stays around. That bitterness definitely stays around. It's drinkable though. Yeah, I think the carbonation has settled down. It feels a little smoother. Like I'm getting that slickness from the oats. I still see bubbles coming up, but the glass is etched. Uh, yeah, like the slickness from the oats is there. Body. Body's good. I would say medium body on this one. Just that bitterness. I think that bitterness could be toned down just a little bit, maybe. Well, again, this is young. It's only been bottled for 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens after a month. Um, but yeah, overall, good beer. If you have 3 hops you want to see me use in a New England IPA or an IPA, put them down below. let's get this going. I have a whole bunch more to make, but if you have a suggestion, leave it down below. If you enjoyed this review, check some more out over here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And until next time, cheers.